You know, we talk too much about the horrible consequences of the global crisis, and it's about time we got some celebrity gossip. Now, this story is actually really interesting. Jeremy Renner, Marvel's Avenger, star of Marvel's Endgame, you know, all that great stuff. His ex-wife is demanding $30,000 a month. Or I should put it this way. He's trying to reduce from $30,000 a month to $11,000 a month in child support. And the first thing I asked was, why do you need $30,000 per month to raise a kid? Look, man, I get it. Jeremy Renner's rich. Apparently, he earned $20 million for Avengers Endgame, and he can afford to give $30,000 a month, right? But come on, how insane is this? Child support doesn't cost that much. The number should be static. It should have an upper limit. What did this, you know what? Let's read the story, because there's a few interesting points to be made. Why does this woman deserve that much money? I don't know. Avengers star Jeremy Renner's ex-wife has clapped back after he asked a judge to reduce his child support payments because of coronavirus. In an interview with thedailymail.com, Sonny Pacheco slammed her ex for yet another attempt to reduce funds I rely on to provide for our child. Dude, your kid doesn't need $360,000 a year. My math was bad. Sue me. Renner filed papers in court Tuesday asking an LA judge to reduce his child support payments to Pacheco for their 7-year-old daughter, Ava. The Academy Award-nominated actor earned $20 million for Avengers Endgame alone. His net worth is estimated at $50 million after bumper checks from his roles in blockbuster franchises Avengers, Mission Impossible, Captain America, and The Bourne Legacy. But Renner wrote in his legal filing that he was experiencing a drop in income due to Hollywood projects being canceled in the coronavirus shutdown, asking the judge to slash his monthly child support payments for his daughter from $30,000 to $11,000. I don't know, maybe Jeremy Renner burned all that money really quick. Just because he made that money from Avengers doesn't mean he actually has it. This is an important point. He may have got a $20 million deal. That doesn't mean they handed him a check for $20 million. I honestly don't know how you transfer that much money. I have no idea. Like, the banks only insure up to $250,000, so what do they really give him? The assumption that many people are going to make is that he has that cash, therefore he can continue to spend it. I think if his child support payments are at $30K per month, he's making a pretty penny. He's doing pretty well. I don't know what percentage they normally take from the dad to pay for the daughter. But, you know, here's the conundrum. Should the rich guy have to pay child support for the child in this exorbitant amount? Or should the wife only get as much as she needs to actually raise the kid? It's actually one of the arguments being presented. In the documents, Renner accused Pacheco of using the child support payments as a slush fund for a high-end lifestyle and expensive court battle against him. He's giving her all this money and she's using it to hire a lawyer to go after him. See, that's a conundrum. She can't, you know, what's the point? Pacheco hit back at her ex's lies and said she was only trying to protect her daughter after 7 years of hell in a relationship with Renner. I'm sorry, man. It may be that the dude is rich, but I do not see why you think you deserve 30 grand per month. That is insane. It is very disheartening that in a time of global crisis, nah, you're losing me. There is yet another attempt to reduce funds I rely on to provide for our child, the model and actress said, adding that Renner had greatly exaggerated the amount of income he said, the amount of income he paid Pacheco. I think it's time, after 7 years of hell, I started addressing the lies myself. First, I do not receive $30,000 in monthly child support. Second, all of my savings and Ava's savings have been drained due to lawyer fees, as my concerns for Ava's safety have been an ongoing battle for years now. I have and always will choose to protect Ava when I find out about disturbing behavior exhibited by her father at his homes that put her in danger. Last but not least, I am choosing love and to continue to wish him the best and a healthy, safe life. During the bitter custody battle over the former couple's daughter, Renner's ex, Ava's former nanny, and his friends have accused him of regularly taking drugs while he was meant to be looking after his daughter, firing a gun in the house, and threatening to take his own life while she slept. After having a revolving door of young women visiting and partying at the 6-year-old's part-time home. I gotta be honest, sounds plausible. You know, we got a court battle. I don't know who's telling the truth. We just went through that whole Amber Heard, Johnny Depp thing. So, man, I don't want to jump the gun and accuse anybody. Now, here's the thing, though. She's saying she doesn't receive $30,000, but the Daily Mail is saying she does. That's it. And if he's reducing it to $11,000, what is she really complaining about? That's still a lot of money. Like, for nothing. I mean, not for nothing. She's raising the kid, but it's $11,000 a month, man. Using texts and doctor's notes as evidence, Pacheco claimed Renner even bit their daughter and said she had been referred to the Department of said he had been referred to the Department of Child and Family Services. Renner has denied the allegations and has claimed that Pacheco persuaded his ex-girlfriend to lie about shooting his gun in his home. Affidavits from friends and a former employee say Renner left cocaine lying around the house in the way of his young daughter and got drunk in his jacuzzi, then had a... This is amazing. This is just making Jeremy Renner sound like a badass. I'm sorry. Okay. Affidavits from friends and a former employee say Renner left cocaine lying around his house, the house in the way of his young daughter, got drunk in a jacuzzi, then had a threesome while his daughter wandered around the house at a party. That's horrifying. I mean, like the stories about Jeremy Renner partying and like doing drugs and firing a gun. I'm like, wow. Yeah, people want to party with that guy. That's not, I wouldn't. That's very irresponsible. Now, look, let's be real. If he's doing this stuff around his daughter, nah, not cool, man. Not cool at all. But I'm sorry, dude. Miss Pacheco, I do not trust you, nor do I really trust him. This is the big challenge we get with all custody battles. You're trying to win custody of your daughter. You're trying to win money from his pocket. I don't think you deserve his money. I think he should pay you child support. I think every dad should. If they separate, that's what you got to do. But if he wins custody and he's a good dad, I know you're saying he's not, but of course you're in a legal battle, so that's a biased opinion. Why should he give you any money? I mean, and how much alimony does she get? That's the other crazy thing. Does she get both? 2 ex-girlfriends submitted copies of text messages and wrote affidavits claiming Renner constantly sent them dick pics and nude photos using a Snapchat account named after his daughter's initials and birth date, and even dressed one of them in a gown embroidered with his 6-year-old's name. All right, this dude sounds kind of weird if this is true. I mean, these are what is this? Are these sworn affidavits? That's a question. Pacheco has written in previous court filings that she is terrified for her daughter's safety while she spends time with her father. Renner met Pacheco in Vancouver on the set of Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. They welcomed Ava in March of 2013 and tied the knot 10 months later, in January of 2014. Pacheco filed for divorce in December of 2014. Wait, what? So they were not even married for a year. Man, I'll tell you what. Marriage doesn't seem to work out. And maybe these are just horror stories, but let me start first by breaking down this whole fight. Like, I don't know Jeremy. I don't know this woman. I don't know who's telling the truth. It's a custody battle. This is life. Now, look, courts tend to favor the women on this one, which is why you end up with a ton of men's rights activists pointing it out. And of course, feminists don't care. It's about inequality. They talk about equality. That's not the case. But let me tell you something, man. We have a serious problem in this country with how our system is set up in terms of child support and alimony. Back in the day when these laws were made, women didn't work. So if you ended up getting a divorce, what was she supposed to do? Yeah, you owe her some money. That I understand. It makes sense. And if she gets custody of the kids, it's not even about her. It's about whoever gets custody of the kids. They got to pay child support. There was some funny thing about like Katy Perry and who's that guy? I can't remember his name. He's the British guy who's like a really lanky dude. I don't know, whatever. Katy Perry divorced some guy, and she apparently owed him a ton of money. He didn't take it. I can think of his face. I can't. You guys probably already remember who I'm talking about. He's got a YouTube channel or something. Anyway, the point is, these laws were put in place back in a time when dudes went and worked and women raised kids. So now when you get a divorce, the guy pays the woman because it's assumed the woman isn't going to be working. If women today are increasingly getting better and better jobs, then why should they get anything? And more importantly, when it comes to the amount of money, shouldn't there be an upper limit? I don't know, man. I'll tell you this. I grew up watching a ton of shows that made marriage seem miserable and something you didn't want to do. But it's not even about me growing up. Remember those people, that guy used to talk about beating his wife on that sitcom, was it The Honeymooners? Where he would be like, bang, zoom, straight to the moon. I love how Family Guy put it. He goes to the moon. And I don't know if you've seen I'm sorry, not Family Guy, Futurama. They're going through a tour on the moon. It's like the first episode. And they see at the set of The Honeymooners, and he goes, one of these days, bang, zoom, straight to the moon, as if he's talking about space exploration. And Fry says he was just using space exploration as a metaphor for beating his wife. It's one of the funniest things Fry's ever said in the show. But the reason I bring it up is there's been a consistent narrative that marriage is a really, really bad thing. And when you see stories like this, What is anyone supposed to conclude? Now, I think a marriage is a very important thing, but it's not sensational when the marriage works out. People like dysfunctional shows, so the dysfunctional families end up getting more and more airtime. Although I will say we did see shows in the past like Malcolm in the Middle, where although they had a kind of dysfunctional family, Hal and or whatever the wife's name was, they got along. They were a weird family, but they all did love each other. And you can see even on these other shows, Simpsons, Family Guys, they're all American Dad. They're all dysfunctional, but their marriages still kind of work. This is something else. This is just general bad, negative, whatever. But the main issue I want to get to is when you see stories like this, people are going to be discouraged from getting marriage. And marriage is a particularly important thing. And the other issue is so long as we have archaic laws in the books, it's going to mandate that somebody give his wife $30,000 per month to raise their kid. Meanwhile, some dude who lives in the slums of Chicago is paying $200. Something doesn't make sense here. I understand if you don't make a lot of money, let's say you work at McDonald's, you make $10 an hour or something, or it's probably 12 by now. And you got to pay like a couple $100 a month for child support. I get it. You don't make that much. And if you make six figures, you got to pay a couple $1,000s per month. That I get. But certainly there's an upper limit. Like, what is she doing? She buying the kid a diamond gold necklace every week or something? It's $360,000 a year. Well, she's denying it. Fine, whatever. I don't know, whatever. You know what? It's not coronavirus news, so I was going to talk about it. I'll leave it there. Stick around. Next segment will be coming up tomorrow at 10 a.m. on this channel, and I will see you all then.